What's up guys, welcome back to Raising the Nuts. Gonna make this real short and sweet. We're playing a tournament today down at Maryland Live, playing the $1,100 buy-in, $200K guaranteed Maryland State Poker Championship. So gonna hop right into the action right now. All right, on the first break here of the tournament, I have a few hands to go over. First hand comes from the 200, 300 level. I have ace-6 of clubs, middle position, open to 700. Player in the cutoff makes the call, and we take the flop heads up. Flop comes down 6-4-3, all spades. So flopping top pair, no spade in my hand. Okay situation, I decide to bet 700. Cutoff makes the call. Turns a 6, so have trips now. Decide to continue betting, figuring if he has a pocket pair, we want to get some value from those hands, and if he does have a spade in his hand, we're going to charge those hands. So I bet 2,200, and he makes the call again. River pairs the board. It's the bottom card is a 3, so make a full house. That's a pretty welcome sight just in case we are behind. I decided to bet 7,300, figuring he either has a hand that's going to call us or he's probably just going to fold. And if I'm bluffing, I want to bet pretty big here, so I make it 7,300, and he calls pretty quickly, and we're good. Obviously, he actually flopped a flush, so pretty magical run out for us there to get started in this tournament on a good note. Next hand of note at 200, 400 blind level. Middle position player raises to 1,000. The cutoff makes it 5,000, and it folds to me on the button. And I'm pretty much going to fold every hand I have here, except I look down at pocket aces. So pretty much the best spot you can imagine when you have a raise and then a huge re-raise and you have pocket aces. So I decided to make it 11,200. Folds back to the player who 3-bet. He thinks for a while and then makes the call. Flop comes 10 high. He decides to lead out for 20,000. I only have 23,400. I go all in. There's a little bit of confusion because he turned his cards up right away, and then I turn my cards up, but he never actually said call. He has kings, he has black kings, we have red aces. So obviously great spot here. He ends up calling the additional 3,400. I think he'd been forced to call either way. I think it was actually 4,300, I'm not sure what it was. But he calls, and the turn is a 5 of hearts, and river is a offsuit 8, so double up there with aces versus kings. Obviously just the dream tournament spot that you can imagine. And off to a pretty good start here. We have 70K on the dinner break, and we'll be coming back to the 600 big blind level. At the 400, 800 level, under the gun opens to 1,800. There's 2 calls, and I call on the button with queen 9 of hearts. Flop comes down jack 9, 8, rainbow 1 heart. Checks to the player to my right. He bets 3K, and action folds to me. I decide to make the call with the middle pair and a gut shot, and we take the turn heads up. Turns a jack. He bets 5K, getting a little dicey here, but I think I have to continue, so I make the call. River's a king. He checks, and I just check back, and he had ace 10 of diamonds, so we faded a bunch of his outs there to win that pot. At the 500, 1,000 level, as you can see, I've won every pot so far, so things are going well. At the 500, 1,000 level, the hijack, cutoff, and button all limp in. I complete the small blind with 10-8, and the big blind checks. Flop comes down 10-8-3 with 2 hearts. So flopping top 2, checks to the first limper. He bets 2,500. Both the cutoff and the button call. I put in the check raise to 11K, and the first...
I didn't do that.
I put in the check raise to 11K, and the better folds and the cutoff calls. That's really funny. Cutoff calls, and we take the turn heads up. Looking for a good turn card. He's probably got a draw here a lot of the time. The turn is an offsuit 6, so not the worst card of the deck. I bet 13K, and he very quickly makes it 45K. Tough spot here, not feeling too good about this against this particular player. And he basically told me he had a straight, so I go ahead and just fold. And he does show me the 9-7 of clubs. So unfortunate turn card there for us. Fortunately, the very next hand folds to me on the button. I have ace queen offsuit and make it 2,500. The big blind has 12,500 and jams it in there. Obviously I make the call, and he has ace 7 off and flop a queen, so he's pretty much drawing dead, and my hand holds up to get some of those chips back from that last hand. And then last hand, right before the break, this was a disaster. I don't know what the hell I was doing in this hand. The hijack limps in. I make it 3K with king 10 offsuit with the 10 of hearts. Small blind calls, big blind calls, limper calls. Taking the flop 4 ways. Flop comes down king jack 9, rainbow 1 heart. It checks to me. I decided to check it back. I don't know. You can go a couple different ways. I think in tournaments it makes sense to just bet here. And if you get raised, you're pretty much in a bad spot, I think, at these types of tables. So I don't hate just betting and folding actually in this spot, but I decided to check it back. A little bit of deception, a little bit of pot control, see what happens on turn, do some bluffs, who knows what can happen. Turns the 5 of hearts, checks to me again, so plan is working out here. I bet 7K, and the small blind very quickly makes it 22K. Gets back to me, I think he's kind of full of it. But this guy played really solid so far. He had built a pretty big stack, showing down really good hands. And so on the turn, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm gonna call here, call river. I have 30K left behind on the river. So I call turn. Then the river's a blank, and he thinks not too long and jams. And then I think about it longer, think about it too long, and go against my original plan. And I decide to fold, which I think is just, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know. But he could, he probably had me beat, I don't know. But I still have 28K going into the 1200 big blind level. So gonna have to make some hands here. So at 600, 1200, I go back downstairs, and the first hand back, I'm in the small blind. The button limps in. I have ace king offsuit, 26K. It's going all in the middle. Folds back to the button, and he folds. So get that one through. Very next hand, early position guy opens to 3K. I think it was actually middle position. I don't really know. Cutoff calls. I'm on the button with ace queen offsuit and 29.9K. It's all going in the middle. The middle position player thinks for a little bit and makes the fold. Cutoff snap calls, he's got ace king. I didn't win, flop came ace king 8. Turn was an 8 actually, so we had some chop out, but didn't happen. And that's it for this one, so I'm out.
Say, oh, I am a believer.